Far Cry New Dawn is the direct sequel to 5 that takes place 17 years after the collapse. While society tries to rebuild on a nationwide level, communities struggle against the threat of marauders called the Highwaymen. One chapter in particular, led by twins Mickey and Lou, settle in Montana, where they clash with the game protagonist, known only as the security captain. In this new era, the landscape has transformed to reflect the post-nuclear devastation of Hope County, and while exploring the world, there'll be many new things to discover, as well as old gems to uncover. In this video, I've managed to put together as many Easter eggs, references, and any other points of interests that I could find. And if you do enjoy this, then subscribe, that way you can stay up to date on all future videos I put up. Now it's time to return to Hope County. Northeast of the settlement of Prosperity is a fridge that's half buried in the ground. By breaking away the wooden boards, skeleton remains can be found along with a hat. This is a nod to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where a particular scene in the film has Indy surviving an atomic blast by hiding inside a lead-lined refrigerator. One of the previous games' Fangs for Hire, a canine named Boomer, has a tomb you can find below the Fang Center. This is an easy thing to miss, as the name is covered by another gravestone that needs to be first removed. And there's also framed photos of Boomer that can be seen in various locations across Hope County. Returning to what was once John Seed's bunker, the name for this place on the map is called the Inquisitor's Grave. The Inquisitor was the name initially given to John on the Ubisoft Far Cry website before his change to John the Baptist. And the name for this former government facility is Black Horse Peak. This is a biblical reference from the Book of Revelation. The rider on the black horse is also meant to represent John Seed. By going into the Inquisitor's grave, players can find an Easter egg to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Swim to the very bottom of this flooded silo, where you can see the skeletal remains of a blood dragon. On the cartography menu, there's a map that can be acquired revealing the locations of every gear stash in the game, but it's the description for it that's of particular interest as it references the Metal Gear Solid games. And the Wolverine habitat map refers to the mutant of the same name from the Marvel comics. Another location in Holland Valley that was covered in the previous video, now called Frobish's Memory, has something inside from Far Cry Primal. At the back of the cave, there are primitive paintings on the walls, the same artwork found in the Primal game. Far Cry 3 villain Vars has appeared as a car customization feature in the last game in the form of an Hawaiian bobblehead, and one can be found on a shelf inside the bunker at Nadine's junkyard. The photo mode feature makes a return in this game, with a few interesting poses to mention. There's one of Ezio from the front cover of Assassin's Creed 2. Including the famous Leap of Faith. as well as a parkour pose. Vaas seen in his sitting position, and a Mira pose from Rainbow Six Siege. Other Easter eggs from the previous game make a return as reused assets that can be found at the chop shop. There are boxes that belonged to Herc. On the side of these are the named locations that the previous games were set in, the tropical jungles of Rook Island in Far Cry 3, and one from the prehistoric lands of Oros in Primal. By reading the descriptions in the vehicle menu, you'll find a couple of film references. The seaworthy jet ski mentions the actor Kevin Costner, alluding to the post-apocalyptic action film Waterworld, while the metal frame pickup mentions dog meat. Though it's the name of the dog in Fallout 3, they're likely both homaging the canine from Mad Max The Road Warrior. There's something easily overlooked that can be found close to Prosperity, as it cannot be seen on the map. By going a little northwest of the settlement, you can discover an SOS sign that's positioned to face up toward the sky. Throughout the game are various hidden messages. One of particular interest is found here at Atelier Xylon. The message is hidden behind a ruined weather vane that reads, "Father was right," stating that Joseph Seed was right about the collapse. There's something that can be found near the shoreline at the northern tip of Holland Valley, and can only be seen at a particular time of day. There are metal objects and various other things that are positioned in front of a primitive stone structure. It's only when the sun rises from the east do we see the objects casting a shadow on a rock face beyond the stone structure. On a closer view, the shadow casting spells out the word "yes," alluding to John Seed's forced recruitment drive across Holland Valley into the cult back in Far Cry 5. There's more reused assets that are worth a brief mention here. These books, found throughout Hope County, make references to the previous game installments. Oros is the setting for Far Cry Primal. Blood Dragon has a sequel. This book cover shows characters from the Assassin's Creed games. Mumu Chiffon is the former royal tailor to pagan men from Far Cry 4. And the malaria mechanic gets a nod from Far Cry 2. On the weapons menu, there are several more references found when reading some of the descriptions. The optimized socket pipe alludes to Mario. This handgun name drops Scooby-Doo's nephew, Scrappy. The Blood Dragon handgun is based on RoboCop's Auto 9, and the initials are the character's human name, Alex James Murphy. And this flamethrower recalls the weed-burning mission in Far Cry 3. At Pyro's Hollow, there's another mention to the Mad Max films. When reading Sharky's journal, he directly refers to the film by name, while giving himself and Herc what he believes to be cool post-apocalyptic names. Herc's given name is a parody to the main villain Lord Humongous from The Road Warrior, and Sharky gave himself the mixed names of Darth Sidious from Star Wars and Rictus Erectus in Fury Road. Even the line, "What a lovely day," is a quote taken from that film.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
More references are quoted by two of the player's companions while they're injured on the ground. Herc says a line by Peter Parker from Infinity War.
Oh, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good! Oh, I don't want to go! Stark?
I don't feel so good.
You're all right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
And Nana says a line from an old television commercial that went on to become a popular meme.
I've fallen and I can't get up! Oh, God, I'm such a cliche.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
We're sending help immediately, Mrs. Fletcher.
Another Marvel Comics superhero, this time Captain America, is homaged in New Dawn. The player character is called the Security Captain, and is often named Captain or Cap throughout the game. Note that one of the characters at the start of the game is called Barnes, like the Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes.
Rush, you're alive! Help me! No, we have no time, we gotta go! Barnes, we are not leaving the cabin behind.
And you can even pick up shields and throw them at enemies. Inside of Dutch's old bunker, there are various notes and markings on the walls, and there's a particular marking that even predates Far Cry 5, which is this line: "The world is a diagonal, I am the balancing point." This is a quote said by Voss during the player's final battle with him in the third game. Guy Marvel, who was the film director for Blood Dragon 3, had initially survived the collapse and lived in this ruined house for a time before his disappearance. By going inside his home, you can find a pair of Blood Dragon eggs, as well as some film posters, and more of these posters can be found all over Hope County. On a closer look at the billing block, it reveals that Ubisoft are Guy Marvel's film distributor. Strange anomalies can be found in various places north of New Eden. They appear to be giant mummified humanoids. There are likely more of them than I'm showing here, and there's no real explanation as to what they actually are. These might have been cultists who took a bite of an apple from the sacred tree like Ethan Seed did, who then transformed into these creatures. Or perhaps they're the Sasquatches from folklore, which was something that was heard in the mountains in the last game. In the Expedition segment, where you travel to the 5 Stars theme park, there are banners that reveal 2 Ubisoft games. One of these images shows Just Dance. And the other is from the Rabbids franchise. In another expedition mission, if you go to the government plane wreck in Iowa, you'll be able to find many Easter eggs for the game Splinter Cell. There are documents that are scattered around the whole level that are written by the game's protagonist, Sam Fisher. And the notes even mention other 4th Echelon agents. Head inside the wreckage of the Paladin, and you can turn on a laptop that'll display ShadowNet on the large screen nearby. And exploring further into the plane wreckage, you can unlock Fisher's uniform that you can wear for the rest of the game.